Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Wednesday, a brand new day. Happy to have you here. We have made it to the middle of the week. My name is Kelsey Marier. I'm your host and producer for Morning Pulse, every weekday morning where I bring you local headlines, at least 3 of those that are happening in Northeast Iowa and Southeast Minnesota, so that you know what is going on in your community, and then you can move on with the rest of your day, whether you have just a couple of minutes to get some news headlines in and make sure you are informed. That is what I'm here to do. So if you don't have enough time to watch a full newscast or anything like that on your TV, this digital broadcast is perfect for you. So we're going to start with our first story today. We have 3 headlines that we're bringing you. So we'll start this morning in Houston County. We're talking about a convicted and unregistered sex offender has now earned a federal conviction for not registering his move into Houston County, which was last year. So he will now be sentenced on a later date. On your screen here, you can see 54-year-old Randy Fuller, his mugshot there. So in 1990, he was convicted in Fillmore County of first-degree criminal sexual conduct for assaulting a child. So he served 54 months in prison for that. Following his release, Fuller was supposed to register as a sex offender and to keep his registration current until the year 2039 under the Sex Offender Registration and Notification Act. Well, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Minnesota, Fuller failed to do that when he moved to Houston County, which is in southeast Minnesota, from Iowa. This was back in December. It wasn't until authorities were called to his home the next month in January of this year for an altercation when they found out that Fuller had moved and never registered. So that is where this federal conviction is coming in. We have learned that this actually isn't the first time that he has failed to keep his registration current, which is a little concerning. So Fuller actually has 3 prior convictions in Minnesota for this exact same crime. So that is a story we just wanted to bring to your attention on this Wednesday morning. Let's move on to our second story. We have a story kind of in the election world. So almost 2 months after the assassination of former Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, results for a primary election to fill her vacant seat. That was for Minnesota House District 34B. Those results are in this morning. So if you don't know, this district encompasses parts of Brooklyn Park and Champlin. Those are 2 northwest Twin Cities suburbs. Obviously, it's where Melissa Hortman lived. So there were 3 Democrats vying for the seat in the primary. This is for the DFL side, of course. On your screen, you can see a photo of XP Lee. He was the man who ended up winning the primary with 59% of the vote. He will now be facing Ruth Bittner, who was the only Republican to run in this primary. So the 2 of them are going to be facing off in the special election. Again, of course, this is to fill Melissa Hortman's vacant seat. That special election is happening on September 16th. So that is something that we will look forward to next month. So you can be sure to get an update on that with KTDC. So make sure to stay with us for that coming up next month. And finally, our last story this morning, we just want to make sure that you are aware, if you are living in the western Wisconsin area of La Crosse, if you see maybe a heavy police presence near the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, UWL, don't panic because university officials, are actually allowing the campus to play host to an emergency response training exercise that will be including all area first responders. So that exercise is going to consist of a simulated high-rise fire at one of the campus residence hall. Again, this is an exercise, a training, so don't be alarmed. Officials from the La Crosse Police and Fire Departments, as well as Mayo Clinic, the Red Cross, and possibly some other first responding agencies are going to be involved in this training. So you can expect to see all of those types of emergency personnel around the UWL campus today for much of the day on that note. So officials are asking you to maybe keep a good distance from the training area if you see it, that is if you can, but just want to give you a warning that if you're in this area today, whether you're living in La Crosse or maybe traveling through and you see a bunch of police officers or anything like that around UWL, just know that it is for an emergency response training exercise. It is not anything actual going on. This is how we make sure that our first responders and those law enforcement agencies know how to respond and keep their training up to date in case of a real emergency. All right, it is a Wednesday, and we are looking forward to a very beautiful day. Meteorologist Ted Schmidt loves to use alliteration in his forecasts, and this morning he had said it is going to be a wonderful Wednesday today. We don't have anything to worry about. He said basically it's going to be the best weather day of the week. So a lot of sunshine to look forward to today, some really nice temperatures, upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s in parts of the area. So yeah, we got to soak that in while we can, because these days are not going to be we might not have as many of these days coming up in the next few months, I guess you could say. So looking forward to that, and hopefully that puts you in a good mood for your Wednesday. Otherwise, I hope these news headlines were helpful for you, and we keep this nice and short, under 10 minutes, so that you can get your news and move on with your day. So I hope to see you right back here tomorrow for another edition of Morning Pulse.